Hey everyone, it's been over 2 minutes and I haven't been raped yet, but I'm pretty sure that Ontario Justice Marvin Zuker would find a way to say I had. Hi, I'm Diana Davison. I'm gonna take you on a journey into madness today. And where better to find that than the Canadian court system? So, I'm gonna talk about this case. It's R versus Ururyar. And the decision is linked below, but before you read that, I'm going to warn you that at the end, you're going to feel like you just watched an elderly man shit his diaper in public. That's how rambling and incoherent of a mess this judgment is. So, the case is a woman named Mandi Gray, who's highly visible in social media because she's making herself the poster child for sexual assault victims everywhere, just like Lucy Decatur wanted to in the Ghomeshi trial. She's doing some sort of documentary with her lawyer and her advocacy and all of her buddies there who were sitting in the courtroom apparently giggling the whole time. And so, yeah, they're making a big deal about this case, and you probably, as a result, heard about it elsewhere already. So this is Mandi Gray accusing Mustafa Ururyar of sexual assault. Now, Mustafa's version of events quite different. He says that he was being assaulted by Mandi all night long, and then they ended up having consensual sex in the end because he pretty much just gave in and did it anyways. But the biggest problem here was that he broke up with her. He said, "I don't want to sleep with you anymore." And so his story is that as a result, she got really angry and frustrated and decided to charge him with sexual assault. And her claim is that that she was totally cool, but a little bit upset that he was going to break up with her. But then he said, "I'm going to fuck you one more time and you're going to like it." Yeah. So anyways, we got these two different versions of event, and the judge essentially has to decide which side is more credible than the other, right? And you would expect a judge, because they must be impartial, to do so without having any racist bias against any of the people involved, or having any sort of like prejudice in some way against the accused. I'm going to prove to you that that's not true. And also, when he gives his reasons for judgment and how he assessed the credibility, it should be coherent. Absolutely untrue. And essentially, when you read this judgment, and it takes you a bit, it's like 180 pages or something like that, and about 2/3 of it is just copy pasta of bits from the trial, and he doesn't tell you why those bits are in there. He doesn't actually narrate it very well. And then a whole bunch of case law citations and stuff like that, and feminist books that he's really fond of. And then he finally gets to the judgment, and this is where everything goes to hell, because you would think reading this that he's actually like not a judge sitting there coming up with reasons and for decision and trying to be logical and a neutral trier of fact. He's actually like a freaking keyboard warrior, just going, "And I hate it, and I hate it, never, never, never." Like, seriously. Maybe I'll actually find the page number so you can get to that part, because the rest of it is just madness. So in order to make sense of the opening, where he just kind of says, "These are facts, this is cross-examination," he's taken all these little bits, different bits of the trial, and put them all together, and you can tell that he's jumping somewhere, but you don't know where you've jumped to or from where. You can't really make sense of how the flow of conversation was going or the line of questioning. So you have to get the entire transcript, which I have access to. And I'm going to go through that. And it's actually the bail hearing where his racism really comes out. So there's a couple of things that need to happen. This is actually going to be, I guess, a little bit shorter than the follow-up videos because I haven't managed to get through all the transcripts yet. But in the bail hearing, to determine while he's waiting sentencing, he was tried as a summary offense, and so that means that there's no minimum sentences. It's possible that he could be convicted and not actually go to jail. And so they had a hearing about that, whether he could stay on bail waiting for his sentencing. And that's where the racism comes out. And I'm going to save that for later. But anyways, a serious investigation needs to be made. Another reason this judge is kind of in a troublesome spot is because judges aren't supposed to be employed in any other capacity other than a judge, and that's so that they can remain neutral, so they can be impartial and not be influenced by anything in the outside world. And this judge is not. This judge actually works for OIC, and you can put a link to that below as well. A great article talking about judicial independence and why that's important. But anyways, he has outside employment, and he's also employed in a university setting, and he's judging about something that happened in a university setting. So don't know why he actually was allowed to sit on this trial in the first place. But more importantly, the question is going to be for the Canadian public and hopefully for the people involved in the justice system, do we have a crazy judge, actually deciding whether people go to jail or not in Ontario? And I think that this is the case and something must be done about it. Mr. Zuker, you done gone mad. So anyways, I'm going to get into the transcripts for that, and meeting with some lawyers and stuff actually to talk about how we can address this, and that'll be happening tomorrow morning. Hopefully we get somewhere. And but this is something that needs to be dealt with, and it needs to happen soon. So that's what I'm working on for the next week, and I will bring you little juicy tidbits from this transcript. And I think we need to kind of have another trial of this issue and potentially have a closer look at Miss Mandi Gray. And for fans of my previous work, the Ghomeshi trial, I actually have the transcripts for the Ghomeshi trial now. So it's a fabulous read. Actually, it was like a page turner, man. There's some hilarious stuff in there. And I'm going to go through this transcript little piece by piece, of course being very careful with the third complainant because her name is under publication ban. But I'm going to go through this because people have complained that they never got to hear Jian Ghomeshi's side of the story. And I think we have. I think Marie Henin made a very clear case for what Jian Ghomeshi is telling the public happened. I mean, it's not a complete one, but the evidence is there, and her line of questioning tells us quite clearly what was going on. So I'm going to walk you through that, and also there's some laugh out loud moments. So that's coming up as well, and I'm just going to say good night for now because I've got a lot of work to do. But love you all. Stick with it. We got a couple of really fascinating trials coming up, and sure, okay, they're Canadian. Not all my audience is Canadian, but seriously, you can't find this in a novel anywhere. This stuff is fabulous. And Mandi Gray, you wanted attention? Well, now you've got it.